Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Rafael P. Roman. We begin tonight with big changes in how rideshare companies Uber and Lyft handle claims of sexual assault against them. Both recently announced that they will now allow victims of sexual assault to take their cases to court, changing a previous policy that forced passengers to pursue claims through an internal arbitration system. The change in policy came 2 weeks after a damning CNN report which found that at least 103 drivers in the U.S. have been accused of sexually assaulting or abusing their passengers in the past 4 years. In response to that report, New York state lawmakers immediately introduced legislation to ban all ride-sharing companies from forcing alleged victims into arbitration as opposed to the courts, the very change that Uber and Lyft have now put in place. But State Senator Luis Sepulveda, who introduced that legislation earlier this month, says the changes don't go far enough and that this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to corporate accountability on the part of Uber and companies like it. Senator Sepulveda joins us now. Senator, welcome to the program once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
So, as I said in the introduction, the damning CNN report gave us numbers, the national figures,
Yes.
Over the past 4 years. Do we know how serious the problem is here in New York State and New York City? Do we have statistics about that?
Well, we don't have precise statistics, but we can assume, and because the city is a place where a lot of people use Uber, that many of these reported cases probably happen here, actually happen here in the city of New York. So we're pretty confident that it's a major problem here in the city.
All right, so the changes that you call for, and I mean, you have two bills, right? And the changes that you call for, at least one of the bills, Uber and Lyft have just put into place. So but you're still going through with the legislation?
Well, absolutely. I mean, just as a general premise, I am completely opposed to arbitration clauses because companies put arbitration clauses because it benefits them. In a situation like this, where we push legislation to bar these clauses, doesn't mean that tomorrow, even though Lyft and Uber have agreed that no longer will the arbitration clauses apply when there is a sexual assault by one of their drivers, it doesn't mean that tomorrow they can't say, well, you know what, we're going to reinstate the arbitration clause. So we want to make sure through legislative fiat that they don't have this option. But again, yes, we're happy that they've taken this step, but the arbitration clauses can still apply with other types of problems. For example, discrimination, any type of injury that you may have in the vehicle. So it's still not all encompassing.
So your legislation is calling for an end to including that arbitration policy within any agreement, regardless of what the issue is?
No, we started first with the issue of sexual harassment because that's more immediate. For those who've seen the CNN report, you can see how dangerous it is. So the legislation started with that. But the intent is to make it more encompassing.
Yeah, I was surprised. I never read those agreements.
Nobody
does.
No one does.
And even if you read it, you can't understand what it says. But I was surprised when I found out.
Well, Rafael, I can tell you this. The one in Uber, for example, it's 6,000 words. And within those 6,000 words, only about 1,000 words apply to the arbitration process. And I can tell you, I've been a practicing attorney for 27 years. I use Uber. I've never read those clauses. And so to those lay people who don't practice law, don't understand the law, it's even more egregious.
So tell us what your second bill says.
The second bill is what we call the pop-up bill. For those individuals that the first time that they download the apps or and a couple of times thereafter, a pop-up will come up and saying, do you realize that if there are arbitration clauses that you give up some of your legal rights, and we want the average consumer to be aware of it, that in fact, when you use these apps and when you use the ride sharing, that essentially you may be subjected to a non-traditional tribunal if you have any sort of injury or any sort of action that you want to bring against the ride-sharing company.
Now, you're also calling for the ride-hailing companies to share information about crimes committed by drivers and passengers.
That's correct.
And share it with the police. That's not happening now.
No, it's not happening now, and it's a problem. One of the byproducts of this legislation is that it will compel these companies to be a lot more selective about the drivers that they hire or they contract with when people are using the ride sharing. The companies can be somewhat relatively indifferent as to who they're contracting with. Now with this, and with people knowing all the information, remember the sunlight information is the best disinfectant.
Sure.
We want people to know if Uber drivers have or incidents of violence. We want the individuals to know, the consumer to know, the company that you're contracting with for ride sharing has a problem with crime. Yeah. So it's important that we get this information out.
So, this issue, as we made clear, I think, is really serious, and your legislation is really important. But, you know, there are those who say, aside from these particular issues, that there is an animus by elected officials against these ride-sharing companies because the taxi industry, which supports a lot of elected officials, particularly in New York, are reeling because of the competition that Uber, Lyft, and companies like that are giving them, and that's why you guys hate them on top of everything else.
Well,
what do you say about it?
I can tell you this. This legislator has never received a penny from any taxi company.
But you've heard what I've said, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you can hear that, but I don't think that that's the case in this situation. And I think that, you know, I've received emails and texts about how I continue to perpetuate this environment where companies are overregulated. And essentially, this is a safety concern. And if you want to say, if people want to imply somehow that the traditional taxi companies are pushing this, I've had not a single conversation with any of these companies, any taxi driver that's not part of the ride-sharing program. This really evolved as a result of what we saw on CNN and some of the information and research that we've done ourselves.
All right. Well, Senator, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this very important issue.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.